guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I have two DIYs that I am exceptionally excited for. So the first one is actually going to be a pillow, but not just any pillow. It's going to be like an inverse printed pillow. The second DIY is going to be two candles that are so cute, and they're inspired by candles that I saw on Urban Outfitters. And if this one works, it will be a serious dupe at a much more affordable price. So I'm very excited for that one as well. But I think we'll start off with the pillows. And the first thing we're gonna do is go ahead and find our pillow that we're gonna work with, because I think I have the perfect one. So off we go. Okay, so we have our pillow base here. If you don't remember how I made it, here's a little clip. I basically grabbed two of these super affordable rugs from IKEA and cut them to size. And then I went ahead and grabbed my sewing machine and just sewed along the edge, as well as created this envelope opening in the back. The full details of this are actually in my cozy DIY video, and I'll link that down below. So we have our pillow that we're gonna work with, but obviously I wanna do a cool printed design on it. However, I am the most indecisive person, and I obviously don't know what design to do. So I have my iPad here that I'm gonna mock up some designs on, and hopefully that will help me decide, we hope. Okay, so the first option that we have here are some really bold plus signs. Now I think that looks really cool, but I'm just not sold on it. So then after that, I decided to mock up what it would look like with just these bold horizontal lines. I think obviously they would be a little bit more refined than this, but again, I think it looks pretty cool, but still not 100% sold. And then the third option that I mocked up is a variation of that plus sign design, except way more detailed. So it has like a solid line going down and then like disconnected lines all around it. And I don't know why I do this to myself, but obviously I like the most detailed design, so that's what I'm gonna have to go with, even though it's going to be the most complicated. But now that we've decided on the design that we want, let's go figure out how the heck we are going to make this an inverse design. We can do this, I think. So I am told that if you use ELMERS glue, which I have right here, on fabric, dyes will resist the glue and the parts that are underneath the glue will not dye. So this could be just exactly what we need to get that inverse print effect. That's what we're gonna try here today. According to Google and my many, many searches, this could potentially work. Let's give it a go. So to do the print on the pillow, I needed two pieces of cardboard or something thick that I could use to stamp. So I grabbed this old notebook that I had and cut off the front, and then I went ahead and measured out the lengths that I thought would work for the horizontal line across the whole plus sign, as well as a little piece for all the other connecting lines of the design. I grabbed my pillow, and as you can see, it's super textured. I love it. And I also just grabbed my ELMERS glue and drew out a nice line of the ELMERS glue. I went ahead and just started dipping the edge of my little stamp pieces in the glue and then stamped them onto the fabric. Once that dried, I went ahead and grabbed my fabric ink paints, which are from Michaels. Now I had all these ones, and then I went ahead and I also bought the orange and the dark red. And I'm just basically going ahead and mixing up this dark orange rust color, which I like. And then I'm also adding in some water, okay? I basically added in the same amount of water as I did paint. Now to make sure that the paint doesn't seep through both the layers and make the whole thing super wet, I put a garbage bag in between them, and then I grabbed my sponge brush and basically just started adding that paint mixture onto the back of the pillow, getting in all those nice nooks and crannies. And then once I had all of it on the back, I flipped it over and started doing the same on the front.
except I did take my paintbrush and kind of try not to go over the entire glue section. So I did the detail work with the paintbrush, and the coverage at this point was really good. I also just made sure to use that paintbrush to get in the side detailing as well. And as you can see, I had paint all over my hands, but it washed off with a little bit of water. Now I left that to dry, and once it was dry, I grabbed a cloth, which is actually just an old t-shirt, and started heat setting it using my iron. I did that on the front and back, and once that's done, I went ahead and started washing off the glue. Now for this, I just was kind of like using my fingernail to kind of scrape off the glue, and with the water, the glue got a little bit gummy. And as you can see here, at this point, the color and the print and everything is looking so good.
Okay, so my dryer has just gone off because I had placed the pillowcase in the washer and then the dryer, and in between I could see that the washer did a lot of good. It got rid of all the residual glue. The print looked really crisp and clean, so I'm really excited to see what it's gonna look like coming out of the dryer. So let's go ahead and pop it open. Okay, so not exactly what I was anticipating here. We have a new pillowcase. Let me cue the B-roll. Okay. So the truth is, I had a different vision for this pillow, okay? I had this vibrant pillow in mind, and it turned into something a little bit different. And I just have to remember that sometimes when I am DIYing and I'm trying a new project and I'm trying a new skill that I've never tried before, or that isn't very common, there isn't much information out there on it, it might just not work. And in this instance, it did work. It just didn't go to plan. So I will just say there's one thing that I did differently than what the instructions said for the paint, and it was adding the water. Now, the only reason I thought to add the water is because on the Michaels YouTube page, there were people from the Plaid head office using their fabric paint, and they mixed it with water. But then on the actual bottle, I read it after, and it said, do not dilute with water. So I still think that the patterning situation is really cool, and I'm happy that we tested out a new skill as always, because that's always what I'm trying to do here. On the topic of skills, this is a great time to talk a little bit about the sponsor of today's video, and that is Skillshare. Now, if you've been watching me for some time, you know that I love Skillshare, and I've been working with them for a little while as well. They are one of my favorite companies to work with, but also one of my favorite resources to just use personally as well. They have classes in so many different topics and areas, basically anything you could be interested in. So I know me personally, I love to watch ones that are around home design, photography, videography. Those are what personally inspires me and helps me be a better creator. They have so many things around like crafting, even animation. One really cool class I've been watching, which is just for my personal creativity here and my personal enjoyment, is from a fellow YouTube creator actually. Her name is The Icing Artist. So she's actually a self-taught baker, but her class that I just watched was called Cookie Decorating for Beginners, Create Incredible Edible Art. And once again, that's by Lori Shannon, aka The Icing Artist, baker, and YouTuber. And so I was really curious in her class, and I loved it so much. My favorite part was actually learning how to stencil cookies. Like, think this pillow prints on Decor, but that is like prints on cookies, okay? Very cool, and just like a personally fun video for me. As a subscriber, if you're one of the first 1,000 people to click the link in my description box, you will get a free trial of their premium membership, which is super cool. The cost of an annual membership is under $10 a month, which is, I think, pretty affordable considering you're just continuing to spark that creative learning. And obviously after the trial, you can go ahead and cancel or continue on with a full paid membership. And yeah, so I just want to say thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. I love learning, obviously. I love testing new things, and I love sharing that with you guys, and Skillshare honestly just keeps that creative juice going within me. So thank you so much. And now back to the next DIY. Let's hope that it goes more to my vision than the pillow. So you guys, the next DIY app is going to be attempting to recreate something that sold from Urban Outfitters, and the truth is, a couple months ago I was on their Instagram account just looking at some cute photos, and I remember seeing a picture of these really pretty candles that were expensive, but they were stunning. I loved them. And then a couple months later I was on Amazon and I stumbled across these glass jars. I think they're cookie jars or candy jars, and I mean, the shape of them was so similar to the Urban Outfitters one. I mean, don't you just think they look the exact same? They look exceptionally similar. Obviously you're gonna be thinking though, wait, there's one difference here. The ones from Amazon are clear glass, the ones from Urban Outfitters are colored glass. So how can you make that the same? I'm part of a Mod Podge Facebook group, and according to the gurus of Mod Podge, there is a way to use that product to create a stained glass effect. Did you know that? Because I didn't. And today we're gonna be attempting to do this to recreate that Urban Outfitter candle, and fingers crossed it's gonna work for me, because if it does, this is a life changer, a game changer, a life hack for real. So let's get started. Let's see if this is gonna work, and let's make our very own candles. So here is my little box that has my cookie jar holders or my candy holders. So I'm just popping that open and seeing what we can work with. And as you can see, they're beautiful crystal jar containers. You can see they're looking great. I'm now just going ahead and grabbing some Mod Podge as well as some food coloring. This is literally just the cheapest food coloring that they sold at the grocery store. So I'm just grabbing a little container, pouring out a little bit of Mod Podge, and now I am going to attempt to work some color theory, okay? So I'm first trying to make the green candle. So I added some green food coloring, and that obviously wasn't the right color. Then I went ahead and added some yellow, and that was okay, but not right. And then I went ahead and added some red food coloring, and that is actually what made the right shade of green. Now after that, I'm going to try and recreate that reddish amber type color. So I've added red, and then I really just was like mixing in different colors here. Honestly, I swear, I couldn't even tell you exactly what I did. I can tell I added a lot of red, and then more red, some yellow. I can also see that I added green in there, and then I believe added more yellow, and then more green, and more red. And I think I might have added a tinge of blue as well at some point. I just kind of kept mixing until I had a color that felt right. I went ahead and propped up the top and bottom of the jars, and then just using my sponge brush, added that right onto it. Now I did make sure to like kind of saturate it a little bit and then go back and even add another coat later on once it had sat for a couple minutes. I also did notice that the big jar kind of dripped a lot more than the top. I'm not sure why that's the case, but either way, once I had the green one all covered with our mixture, I left that to air dry, and then I went ahead and started working on adding the reddish orangey amber mixture on there. And that covered really well. Now for this one, I actually wanted to test putting it in the oven to bake the Mod Podge onto the glass. And so I just set the oven to the lowest temperature possible, and then I went ahead and popped it right in for 20 to 30 minutes. I will just say it literally did nothing different than the green jar, which I let air dry. It's just that it dried a lot faster in the oven, but if you have time and you don't want to do the oven thing, you don't have to do that either. Now, one thing I do just want to mention that I didn't include in the video is that after these pieces all came out of the oven, I did go ahead and paint on another layer of Mod Podge, and that was just to basically seal in the layer that had the food coloring and to make double sure that it wouldn't transfer. Now to turn these into actual candles, I went ahead and picked up some of these candles from the dollar store. They were like $1.25 each, which makes them super affordable. But either way, I added some hot water into a pot and placed all the candles inside, and then just turned the heat to about medium low so that they slowly melted. And then as they melted, you could kind of take out the wick section and reuse that wick for the actual candle. Now to prop up the wick, I did just use a little chopstick that I had, and I just poured the wax right on in, and that worked great. I will just say you want to make sure that you wait for your candle to fully dry 100% before you go ahead and cut off the wick to size. And after you have that all ready, you can go ahead and start making some tassels. So I got this embroidery thread from the art store,
And I'm just taking a piece of cardboard and cutting a little slit on either end. And I'm gonna use this to make the tassel, obviously. So I'm just starting out by placing a piece of string in between the two slits and then wrapping a good chunk of the string around the top and cutting that loose. Then I'm taking the two pieces that were in those slits and tying it at the top. I'm now cutting the bottom of the cardboard tassel section, and I'm taking an extra piece of the thread and just kind of wrapping it around several times, a little bit down from the top, tying that off, and now it's ready to go. I did also just repeat this with the orange tassel because both of them need a tassel. Now to attach it, I'm just kind of looping it on to the top of the candle holder, and just like that, you guys, we have our brand new Urban Outfitters inspired candles.
Honestly, you guys, how cute are those candles? I really feel like we matched the dupe of the Urban Outfitter ones. So for a fraction of the cost, we have made two beautiful candles, and I just think they look so adorable. Like, look at this. This looks just like the Urban Outfitter ones, just like it. This just shows that sometimes you try something out and it works, like the food coloring and Mod Podge. And sometimes you try something out and it works, but just not exactly what you were thinking of. And that's totally okay, because it's all about learning new skills and trying out different things, and that's how you get better at your craft. And now, you guys, it is the moment of truth, and I wanna know which of the projects is your favorite, so let me know down below whether or not it is the printed pillow, which, no, it didn't go 100% to plan, but it's still pretty cute. The faded look is some people's vibe. I actually think this will look really cute on a patio outside. That's like really the vibe it's giving off to me. Or would it be the Urban Outfitters inspired candles that are gemstone colors and really vibrant? And obviously I'm gonna share what my favorite is, and it's gonna have to be the candles. Probably no surprise to you. I really was thinking before putting this in the wash, I thought maybe it would be a tie, because my vision for it was like, but you know what? I still think it's lovely. I just think the candles are a little bit more to my taste. But either way, thank you so much for staying along as I'm trying out these new skills and just letting me be inspired and try new things and share it with you and finding interest in that. Like, that is the coolest thing to me ever. So I'm gonna keep doing that. Sometimes it's gonna go to plan, sometimes it's not. But either way, we're gonna do it together, and I'm so happy to have you guys along for the ride. So thank you so much for watching until this point, and I will see you next week. Also, don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to my channel, and then head over to Instagram at DIYDelia with an underscore at the end to check me out over there. I'm trying to grow. Trying. So yeah, thank you once again, and I'll see you guys. Bye-bye.